Working with cerebral palsy, Baclofen pumps, and hip structures, and hi Cecilia, of course I remember Adonis, and I've been following the adoption, and it's been wonderful. Okay, you went through conventional things for spastic CP. I don't, and again, I'm not a doctor. I'm talking to you, you know, this is the problem, guys, when I'm friends with you, you know, you're not just clients, and I'm a mom first versus, so the mom side's talking to me, and just the experience with movement lesson. I don't know who puts in a Baclofen pump that early in a child. I usually see it maybe 12 to 13. Complications that you're going to look for, it's a large piece of equipment, as you can see by the x-rays. I still have to mark up the x-rays. I'm not going to have time before New Year's to do all that. And I'm working tomorrow too. I'll see if I can get it done, if not by Thursday. It's because it goes under the rib cage and it goes into the pelvis. So one of the things you want to look at is, and this is where I want a more current x-ray. It's great to have the baseline, but we now need to seriously work on making sure he doesn't go into scoliosis. The Baclofen pump the body will start to repel it, right? And you'll start to see that shift. You know, I've literally seen pump and curvature match. And again, I've seen it. I'm not trying to scare you. I have the experience with it. And again, we're talking because we know each other. And so that's what, you know, so right now you're not seeing it. However, you can see how it touches the rib cage, touches the pelvis. So definitely be working with your orthopedist on that, because you know, the coccyvalga is it is severe, you know, the straightness of the femur, and that you're working around, and that's why he's going straight. But the rolling around is changing. The reason spasticity is changing is again, so you got the Baclofen pump. The Baclofen pump's mass, right? Like it's just, it will never oppose gravity. So you've got the non-oppositional opposing of gravity with cerebral palsy, and now you've got the pump, and that's why the roll is starting to shift. So what you're going to be working on is serious midline around the waist and chest area and so forth, because he doesn't know how to cross it, because every movement he makes, the pump wants to do like this. So it's almost like if I had this thing of liquid and I had a marble in it, and I'm going around, you know, it's just gonna, yeah, it's more secure than a marble, but still, the pump wants to go to the ground, and he wants to go away from the ground. So he's so that's where you're seeing what looks like more spasticity instead of less. And of course, you've got to watch for that sucker with infection in too. I'm sure they told you that, what to look for. So, but I would definitely be working with, keep your pulmonologist, even though you've had the pump. If he gets sick, you know, he has a chance of really getting sick, because is the diaphragm doing what it needs to do? Because the pump is up in there. So you won't be able to pick him up from the right because the way it hits. Because remember, as I say, if a child finds something difficult or it hurts him, I'm not saying it hurts him, but it's difficult because it hits these things. So you want to do this versus, you know, go forward. So sitting up, you know, advise the school and stuff and and staff that, you know, probably be through the left. If his bed's off to the right, I would move it over so you can pick him up and address his transfer skills that way, and to the left, and keep an eye on it. So I have a really good scoliosis course, but really right now I'm going to give you, it's a baby exercises, but I mean, it can be done on anyone. You need to concentrate on every aspect of midline around the waist and the pelvis. As far as working with him, the scoliosis course and the breathing course, but I would start with the breathing course first. And as you get into those skills, it's unfortunate, but he's just gone through a lot, and it's you know, it doesn't mean his system knows how to absorb that information. And I understand the pros and cons. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't have done the pump, but now that you have it, you have to know what you're going to be looking at. And honestly, with the curvature of the spine thing, they're going to be afterwards saying, oh yeah, it does happen in some cases. We didn't expect to see it in his. You think? And I don't want to see it in his. So you've gone through enough and done more than your share, and it'll continue. I know it continues. This is just part of parenting. But that's what I would be looking at for that. Thanks. Happy